Hello, so today I'm gonna film a stretching routine slash like how I learned to do the splits, because it's something that I get asked about a lot. I know that when I was like looking for stretching routines and stuff, everyone that I watched was like, they'd been doing gymnastics since they like came out the womb. Like they've always been in the routine of stretching, they've always had better flexibility. Whereas I was like 19 trying to learn how the hell to make myself more bendy. It can give people some hope that you can go from being incredibly inflexible to flexible. It is possible. I'm not gonna put a stupid like title with this and be like learn to do the splits in a week, because it took me a year to get mine. I've seen other people say that they have been able to do it in a week, but I would say if you've been able to do it in a week, you probably had good flexibility to start with. I really didn't. I've never been that flexible. I did used to do gymnastics when I was younger, but I was more good at like handstands and stuff like that. Like flexibility was never something that I was very particularly good at. Also, I think another reason why it took me a year was because last year I really badly hurt myself practicing the splits, so that's one thing that I do want to warn you of. Go to a point of mild tension, like you can feel that it's stretching, but if it's painful, like seriously painful, then stop, because I pushed through the pain, and because I'd read online that like, oh, it's all in your head, like if you just push through the pain you'll do it. So I pushed myself into the splits and I'd done all my warm-up stretches, all of that, but something like popped slash clicked in my hamstring and I was in quite a lot of pain with it. I couldn't even train legs properly for a couple of weeks, and then when I did go back to my stretching routine, I was back to square one, it felt like, although my flexibility did come back a bit quicker. So be patient with it and don't push it if it's not there yet. Obviously push yourself and try and stretch deeper into a stretch, but if it's not there, don't force it, because you will hurt yourself and you're just going to prolong how long it's going to take you to get them. I think I'll put in some pictures of what my splits used to be like and what they're like now. The past few weeks I've been struggling to get them again because I've done something to my hamstring. I don't know what I've done, so we'll see if I can get them today. But yeah, I was not flexible at all and now I am pretty flexible. I'll show you my stretching routine, and I have done this every single day for over a year now. Stick at it every day and be consistent with it. But before you stretch, you need to warm up. I've trained legs this morning and I've just come out of a hot shower, so I'm alright to go straight into my stretching. If your body is not warmed up, then do some bodyweight squats, bodyweight lunges, dynamic stretches, so leg swings and stuff like that, just to get warmed up. Do not stretch without warming up. I think that's where I've gone wrong when I've ended up hurting myself, just being lazy and not warming up after upper body days when I've stretched. So the first one, you get into like a lunge position and you basically want to focus on pushing your hips down to the floor sort of thing. Do not let your knee come over your toe at the front, so make sure that you're actually pushing down with your hips, not just pushing forward. Every single stretch I hold it for 30 seconds. I used to do everything 2 times round, now I just do it once and that seems to work fine for me. So when you've done that for 30 seconds, switch, and you're going to basically straighten the leg that you've just used. I like to hold the bottom of my back to make sure that I'm not just like rounding over to come down, so I hold on to the lower half of my back and stretch downwards. Something's just popped in my back. And then this is going to stretch your hamstring out. The main things for your splits is your hamstrings and your hip flexors, so all these stretches pretty much focus on that. This is my hamstring that I've hurt, so it does feel quite uncomfortable doing this. And you basically just do the exact same thing on the other side, hold for 30 seconds again. So the next one is, I think it's called a frog stretch. I really don't know the names of these stretches. And again, this is just going to open up your hips and help. Apparently this is really good. This is a good one for middle splits. I'm so far away from getting my middle splits. I want to try and get them. So I like to do this one sitting against a wall, just because I find it quite uncomfortable being hunched over. But you can do it like that. You can hold onto your feet and use your elbows to stretch. You want to move your feet in as close as you can to like your crotch area. Scooch them in as close as you can and then stretch out. Then after this I do some more hamstring stretches, so hello foot. It's just reaching for your toes. And then I like go onto my side and stuff. I basically just do this for 30 seconds in like different kind of positions until I feel all stretched. Like I said, this is my hamstring that is being quite painful, which is annoying because it's my more flexible side normally. So it's been a bit uncomfortable, but I don't actually know what I did. I know that these stretches work because they literally got me from being about 2 rulers off the ground to being on the ground. Next one that I do is a pigeon stretch, I believe it's called, where you cross one leg in front and sit like this. Apparently you look like a pigeon. I'm not sure if I do look like a pigeon. Focus on pushing your hips into the ground, especially your back leg. Like I said, I really struggle with my back leg, so I try to focus on pushing it to the ground as much as I can. As you can see, like, it's just not as flexible, I feel like you can tell with most of my stretches. But this is my weak side. The last stretch, which looks incredibly strange. I prefer doing this one at home because you get well loads of strange looks if you do this in the gym. So basically, it's like a reverse of the froggy where you're sitting on your bum. Tips for this: you want to make sure that your hips are in line with your knees, so you're not like backwards and you're also not like too far forwards. Everything should be in line, and you want to focus on pushing your hips down to the ground. It can be quite helpful in getting yourself further down to actually, like, it sounds weird, but like tense your bum cheeks for like 10 seconds or whatever, and then release it and try and sink further. Right, so now all the stretches are done, you're gonna actually practice going into the splits. So something that is really useful, and I got this from girls on Instagram when I put a story on asking about it, is using something underneath you. So you can use boxes. I've personally found using pillows better, because I think having something soft you can sink further into it, if that makes sense. I find it quite easy to do with pillows, but you know, you can use boxes, you can use literally like anything that you've got, like a mini stool or whatever, to basically put in the middle where you like split onto, if that makes sense. For me, that was absolutely game changing. I remember really struggling to get any further down as soon as I started using pillows to actually comfortably sit in the stretch, because that's what it allows you to do. It was an absolute game changer for me, and I got my splits probably within about, I think it was about 2 months maybe of doing it with something underneath me. So I'll show you how to set that up and stuff, and yeah, we'll see if I can get them today, because who knows, it changes day to day, we'll see. So I think I'm going to use 1 pillow, but feel free to use as many as you want, and you can kind of like come up a little bit and remove the pillow if you don't need much height. Another thing is to use like a stool or something next to you that's hard, so that you can transfer your weight through that and basically choose how much weight you're putting into your split, which will stop you from hurting yourself. When I when I hurt myself in the gym, it was because I wasn't using anything. I literally put my whole weight of my body through into my splits, and that's how I overdid it. Oh my god, my hamstring. So as you can see, I've put my hand on the stool to help me make sure I'm not putting too much weight through my body. You want to make sure that when you go forwards, you come straight over your leg to make sure that your hips are square, which mine are. So I'm going to get rid of the pillow and see if I can get into it. Okay, so there's a little bit of a gap today, which is to be expected considering the damage I've done to my hamstring, whatever the hell I've done. Ow! So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions about any of the stretches or anything, comment them down below and I'll try and help you out. And I just hope it's been like a nice motivator for people who aren't flexible, who haven't done gymnastics all their life, that it is possible. It will just take time. My main tips would be to stretch every day and just be as consistent as you can be with it. Be patient, stretch well, so actually do push yourself, but do not push yourself too far. If something feels painful, stop it. If you pull something, it sets you back. Like I said, it set me back probably about a month in my splits, so it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. As you can see, I still have like niggles with my hamstring now, so be very careful when you're doing it, but it is possible. If you enjoyed the video, then give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to and you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok because I'm on there now. And yeah, let me know how you get on with it if you do try out this stretching routine. And yeah, bye.